So today, when prominent people in our country, whether they're Republicans or Democrats or anybody in the media, encourage Americans to call COVID the China virus, language that seems to blame this pandemic on a country and a people, they are not only doing something wrong, something that has already encouraged violence and discrimination against. I will vote to impeach today because President Trump did just that when he shook down a foreign country to criminally investigate his political rival. If we fail to say that this was wrong, then any president will be free to ask a foreign power, be it Russia, China, or Iran, to help him hurt his political enemies at home.
And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I said, I'm not going to, we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, what, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son, got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid at the time.
We absolutely do not need a massive wall that's going to make America look fearful and foolish. And we shouldn't just be talking about border security. We need to be talking about immigration policy. We need to be talking about immigration reform. We need to be talking about having a humane and lawful asylum policy.
And then we have to think about the jobs, right? Because the reason this happens is there are a lot of jobs in our community that, like it or not, for better or worse, Americans are not willing to take. I mean, who do you think is taking care of our seniors? 50% of the elder care workers in the state of New Jersey are immigrants, most of them legal, most of them documented, but certainly some who are not. Who do you think is mowing our beautiful lawns in Somerset County? We don't usually ask, but a lot of those workers are undocumented. There are just not a lot of, kids, from Montgomery High who are going to be doing that.
Mr. Speaker, I will proudly vote for the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act because I believe that Black Lives Matter, because I believe that nobody in America should have to fear an encounter with police simply because of the color of their skin, and because I believe that what we need right now above all is trust. Trust between law enforcement and the people. Trust is not built by police who use force as a first resort. It is not built by police who look like they're the 82nd Airborne parachuting into a war zone. President Trump, it's really, really interesting. In his State of the Union, he made this really strong statement against socialism in Venezuela and said America will never become a socialist country. With respect to pulling out of NATO, NATO is the most successful alliance in modern history. It has helped to prevent war in Europe and to keep America from having to fight another war in Europe for decades. Russia wants us to pull out of NATO. Russia wants to break up NATO. The idea that an American president would align himself potentially with that way of thinking is very scary to a lot of us.
Nobody's been tougher on Russia, China, or anybody else than me, including our allies, NATO, who I got to pay $140 billion more money. $140 billion. You know what that is? And you know why? That's to hold Russia in check. All right? I did Russia no favor. Nobody's been tougher on Russia than I.